Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. We are following this Striver SDE Sheet DSA code ramp. So we have already completed the array concept. So we are moving to the next part, that is array part 2. We are going to solve the first problem in that. So the problem name is rotate matrix. Let me give a quick overview of this problem first. So it is Leetcode's 48th problem and the difficulty level is medium. So you will be given an array. It is a 2D array. Basically, it is a matrix. So we have to rotate the matrix into 90 degree. See the row. We used to call this as row and this as column. So the row are converted to columns and columns are converted into rows. Okay. So like that, we have to rotate the matrix in 90 degree so that you will get this result. You may ask how to approach this problem. Yeah, we can approach this problem in many different way. Basically, in DSA, every problem can be solved using brute force approach. What is a brute force approach? We can just closely give a look on this matrix, what it is happening. Just go through the process. See, all the rows are changed to columns. All the columns are changing into row. Okay. So what is the matrix value of this? In human language, it's 1 comma 1. But in programming language, we used to say 0 comma 0. Right. 0 comma 0 is going to 0 comma 3. Okay. 0 comma, I mean the first column, first row, first row's first element is going to first row last element. Okay. So then see this 2. The matrix values 1 comma 0 comma 1. So 0 comma 1 is going to 1 comma 3. Alright, we used to call this as 1 and 1 comma 3. Okay. So basically what happening is, if it is first row, we have to put the first row to the last value. So the if the I value, I mean we used to represent matrix in M into N form, right? So if matrix value something like I into J, 0 is into 0, 0 into 1, 0 into 2. 0 into 1 is 0 represent I, J 1 represent J. So basically, see this 1 into 0. So we are taking the J value and converting the J value to I value. Simple. So here the value is 1 comma 0. So 1 comma 0 will go to 0 comma 0 comma 2. How? It's in the second position, 0 comma 1. Sorry, 0 comma 1. It will go 1 comma 0 will go to 0 comma 1. How? This is 0 1 comma 0, right? So this value is 0 comma 1. We can create a separate 2D matrix, and on iteration we can store the details to that matrix. So we used to call this approach as brute force approach. This is the very easiest approach, but the time complexity is O of n square. So yeah, you can give this approach, but the disadvantage of the approach is the space complexity won't be a constant. It will be O of n square as well, because we are declaring a 2D array extra. Okay. So in the question itself, they have mentioned do not allocate another 2D matrix to do the rotation. So we can't, if the interviewer is specifying something like this, you can't use the brute force approach. Then what other way we can use? We can just transpose the matrix. We can convert the row into column. Transposing is something like converting row into column, right? So we will keep the diagonal as it is and we will swap this 4 with 2 and 7 with 3 and 6 with 8. So if we do so, we will have 1 4 7 2 5 8 3 6 9. Similar to that, but we have to rotate each and every row. It will be something like 1 4 7. We have to rotate the first row, reverse the first row. So reversing will cost us something like O of n. So it won't be open actually. We can say so that will give us the result 741. So if we reverse each and every row, we will finally get this result. So, okay, let me show how we can code this. Let's get into coding first. How to do that first? I need some variable n, so storing the length of the matrix. Okay, so n is human language. So according to computer, we can't use the human language. We have to put a -1 in that. So iterating the matrix from int I is equal to 0 to I is lesser than n minus 1. You are getting right why I'm using n minus 1, because uh, I don't need to iterate to the last, because see, here I will explain. So we are shifting for the first iteration. I will be in here. We are shifting I and j position. Fine. Then iteration goes to here. We are shifting to here. So 2 will come here, and here we are shifting 3 to 7. Fine. We should not start again to the 4. If we iterate the 4 will get transposed to 2. I mean, here 2 is there, right? Already. So 2 will go to here and 4 will come here. So there won't be any change. So we have to iterate something like this. First one, then we don't need 1 as well. To reduce that, we can go from 2 itself. 2, 3. After 3, we can go to 6. That's it. We don't need to care about the remaining last row. So how to do that? For int j is equal to I plus 1. If I is 0, we are going to consider only the second element. We are not going to consider the I. J is less than n, j plus plus. Okay. So we have to do swapping. Swap, swap the elements. Which elements? Swapping 2 with 4. How to do that? First, matrix of I of j, I have to swap it to matrix I of j, j of I. Okay, so initializing a temp variable here, and matrix j of I equal to matrix I of j. Sorry, I of j equal to matrix j of I. Then matrix j of I equal to temp. That's it. No worries. So this will give us the transpose. We have to rotate each and every row individually. So if we do that, we will get the resultant matrix. So for that, I'm iterating over the rows again, and I'm declaring a function named reverse. I'm passing matrix of I. Okay. So we have to write a separate function for that. This function, I'm not going to call the function outside the class, so I'm declaring it as private itself. That's completely your choice. Reverse int mat. Okay, so here uh, I'm taking start as 0. Int start as 0. Int n equal to mat dot length -1. Okay, because length will give in human understandable form. Then while start is lesser than end, we are giving the condition here to swap mat of start int temp is equal to mat of start int mat of start equal to mat of end, mat of end equal to temp. Okay, so we are using while loop here, so we have to update the pointers. Minus minus, we used to call this as two pointer. Okay, so the syntax error, I think there is no syntax error here. Let me check here also, no syntax error. We can run the test code first. Let me check the result. Yeah, okay. I plus plus. Yeah, test case passed. Okay. So let me try submitting the code. The code got accepted. The runtime is 0 millisecond, and this is the good solution, optimal solution for this problem. Okay. The interviewer doesn't mention that you do not use extra space and all. You can use the brute force approach, but it's the better approach. It's optimal approach. If someone asking you this question, it's very better for you to give the code in this format, because they will become happy after seeing this, because you are not using any extra space. The time complexity of the code is, we are using two for loops. So O of n square plus O of n. That's it. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching this video. We have completed this as well. In the next video, we are going to solve the merge overlapping subintervals problem. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching this video. Have a good day. Bye.